Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Queen of the South. Today it is a transfer special as we move from Season 3 into Season 4 and our first season in Europe as well. Now, there's a lot to do this summer. The first thing we need to do, left back, it's an absolute disaster. I don't know who Little is. He's in the under-21s, I think. If we're going to play a 4-4-2, if we're going to play sort of the 4-3-2 or whatever it is, no matter what it is, there is a lot we need to do. Now, the slightly concerning thing, if we look at the team that played last episode in the Cup final, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loanees in the starting 11. Now, of those loanees, we know that Omar's coming back for next season. Bradley's joining permanently, and Morton is also back next season. So that is not the worst, but Olafundua's contract is up. So unless we sign him permanently, he's not going to be back. Feritovic's contract is up, I believe, at his parent club, Roma, as well. So again, unless we sign him permanently, not going to be back. Callum Rowe, it was always just a backup option for this season, so I don't think he's going to be back. I would like to get Luizzi and potentially even Thomas back, but you can see Thomas is not necessarily happy with his playing time with us, so he's unlikely to want to come back. So even, of the players that we have, this guy is just coming nowhere near the team again. There's a lot to do. We haven't got a confirmed budget yet, but 300 grand and 34,000 a week, so that's an extra, what's that? 1,500 to what we're already spending is what the budget is right now. It's going to be a very, very busy summer. European football awaits us, so let's get started. David, do you know any good left backs, mate? Hello? Oh, Your Royal Highness, how are you, my lady? Yes, I'm also very, very excited for Europe. Yeah, no, hopefully we'll do okay. I would love to know what my budget's going to be. I'm sorry, how much? So this is very, very nice. Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Doe, apparently. 3.4 million we have as a transfer budget, 37 grand a week, which isn't a massive increase on the 32 we're already spending, but of course we can move some over if we need to. We have 70% that we can retain as well. Next season's guaranteed minimum is almost 2 million, so things are starting to look very, very good for us. Now, I'm wondering if we look to upgrade the training facilities while we're at this. The facilities currently are good for the seniors, average for the kids, and coaching and recruitment could maybe do with a little bit of a upgrade as well. Now, you'll notice down here that we are not going to be playing our home games European home games, I should say, at home. We will either be going to Hampden. Is it an all-seater issue? Is that what the issue is? Maybe we don't have enough seats because we only have 3,500 seats. Hamilton has just over 6,000 seats, and Livingston 9,500. So hopefully we'll go to Livingston just because we'll get more people in there potentially. But there we go. We have money to spend. All right, a few end-of-season things to catch you up on here. It was a record high finish for the club, the best finish since the 33-34, so almost 100 years. Best finish in 90 years was the last time we were anywhere near this as a club, so that's excellent. Mopai was the top goal scorer with 18, but joint is Omar with 18, and I'm assuming it's less appearances for Mopai. Perhaps, I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is there, but unlucky that Omar couldn't quite get that. But what he did win was Young Player of the Year, so well done to him on that award. He also won the Scottish Writers Young Player of the Year, which is essentially the same thing, isn't it? I've won Manager of the Year, so that's excellent. Well done, me. And if we look at the Scottish players, the Football Writers Player of the Year and the Premiership Player of the Season, again, it's the same award, it's the same players, but Shakir Omar's come in third in both, and that is, again, richly, richly deserved. Shakir Omar, what a season he's had. Okay, we are at June 1st, which means contracts in Scotland have expired. 3 players have been released, isn't that right, Morty? Ali Roy, unfortunately, he decided he wanted to leave. It wasn't a decision that we made. He wants to be a first-team player, so he has left. Murray Miller has left, one of our token Australians, and he just never quite developed how I'd hoped, if I'm honest, and another guy that we never saw. And another piece of news, along, of course, with all our loanees leaving, is that Lachlan Brook, our other Australian, is off to AFC Wimbledon. I've sold him, so he'll go off when the window opens June 9th. And 14 grand we've got for him. We've got his 1,300 a week off. I wanted to try and turn him into a left winger. It didn't work. So we've made a profit on him, signed him for free, signed him for 14 grand. So it's, not the end of the world. All right, we have two signings. The first one is Fabian Lutzi rejoining us on loan. Massive, massive news this. We are paying 4.4 grand a week of his wages, which is significant money for us. But it means we get a full season of Lutzi, I should say, and Omar up front. And that is a very, very exciting prospect indeed. And the other signing that we've made is one that's permanent. It's Mitch Clark, a fullback that we signed from Rangers. He was transfer listed there. We signed him for 100 grand up front, potentially rising up if 105 grand if he plays 105 grand if he plays 50 games, 150,000 if we qualify for the Champions League. And given that it's probably Rangers' spot that we'll be taking, then it just kind of goes to him. Are we paying? Is that what we're paying him? Are we paying him 3.4 a week? That seems a lot. But anyway, current contract is that. I can't remember what I'm paying him. But anyway, let's have a look at him. He's a right back. We can play on either side, really. But he's just a good, solid option. He can tackle, he can pass, he can cross, he can dribble. So predominantly, because he's right-footed, we'll look to use him at right back. So he'll kind of share that role with McPherson. I have never figured out exactly which way you say that. And it means that Connor Bradley, who of course is joining us as well, we can look to use him a little bit more as a winger. And and I think Mitch Clark isn't as quick, but he's not too bad getting forward. And like I say, he can play either side. He can play as a centre-back potentially. In terms of playing for Rangers, he didn't. He did play, however, for Accrington Stanley and did okay for them. Came through at Villa, a player I used to like at Villa, but never really was quite good enough to play for them. But I'm hoping he'll be good enough to play for us. Alright, it is June 9th, which means the transfer window has opened. So Lachlan Brook has officially left. The fans aren't particularly bothered. It's fine. The other player that's left, unfortunately, is Aidan Fitzpatrick. He rejected us, remember, for the same money to go to Inverness, who have been relegated. So enjoy the championship, Aidan. But we have got in our new boy, Mitch Clark. Only a C rated by the fans. I think he's going to do better than that, to be honest. But time will tell, I suppose. So it's 100 grand up front and then the add-ons that we went through earlier. So welcome to the club, Mitch Clark. We have breaking news this evening out of Queen of the South, where the club have smashed their transfer record for the signing of 27-year-old midfielder James McGrath. Now for more, we cross live to the mystery-accented Willie Melgrew. And Willie, this could prove to be a good signing. Aye, the boy McGrath comes in from St Mirren for 850 grand. And for that fee, he can't be a flop. So there we go. We have smashed the previous transfer record. I think it was 80. What did we sort of sign Ryan for? It was 83 grand, I think. So we've added a zero onto the previous record. It's Jamie McGrath. He is signed from St Mirren. So the second time we've gone to St Mirren, having signed McAllister from them last summer. He's going to be on £2,400 a week. It's a 3-year deal for a 27-year-old. So it takes him to 30. He's in his prime years. He's going to be an important player. The fans like him. There's his contract ins and outs there. He's signed as an important player, and I think he will be an important player. Let's have a look at him. And what I like about him is the vision. He's got decent passing to go with that vision. Not too bad physically as well. He can play sort of anywhere through the middle. If we want to play him a little bit deeper, we could do in an attacking role. And at a stretch, he could play as a striker as well. So, yeah, I think all in all, that's very good. He's got Premiership experience, having played 4 seasons in the Premiership with St Mirren. Was in the Championship last year. He had that 850,000 release fee because they got relegated. I and ahed about it. We couldn't afford him last year, obviously. I wanted to sign him sort of this time last year, but obviously, as I say, 800 grand we didn't have. But this season we have it. So I've gone in and got him, and hopefully he's going to be a success for us. All right, we have another signing in. It is centre-back Joe Lewis. We have signed him from Hearts. He was transfer listed there, £37,500. He's going to be on 750,000. So 50,000, that'll be a wage, wouldn't it? £750 a week. He's signed as a squad player, and there is a potential of a good Premiership player there. There's the other ins and outs of his contract. And let's have a look at what we've got here. And I've signed him more as a backup, as a centre-back. He's physically quite solid. He's got some key defensive mental attributes there, and the key technical attributes are there as well. So he may turn out to be a very good signing for us, but I figure worst case scenario, he's going to be a decent you know, a decent centre-back. I mean, he was highly rated as a kid coming through Swansea, if I remember correctly. Hearts have taken a punt on him. He hasn't worked there, and potentially we've got an absolute bargain, like I say. So we'll see what happens with him, but worst case scenario, he's very good squad depth. Alright, so now that we're in Europe, we should probably have a look at how the European rankings, the Scottish Premiership has dropped one place to 9th in that rankings thing, which doesn't really mean anything. Manchester United are the top team, and they're Albanian, I think, aren't they? But anyway, they're the top movers. Homegrown, we should have more than enough homegrown players, so I wouldn't worry about that. But Scotland has slipped in the coefficient table, so this is for Champions League, so there's no group stage place now. The winners of the league go into the second qualifying round. Am I reading that correctly? And then the champions are into the playoffs. So there's still 2 places. Let's just look at this is just going to be quicker, isn't it? So we're 11th. So yeah, there's still 2 places. So the winners are into the playoffs, so they just drop back 1 round. The runners-up are into the second qualifying. Anyway, so there's been a slipping of the coefficient. Hopefully now we're there, we'll boost that back up a bit. Alright, quick update. We're at July 1st, which means other contracts, the rest of Europe, have now expired. And we've got 2 new signings, one of which we knew about. Connor Bradley has come back and joined us permanently, so that's good. He is a good attacking option down that right-hand side. And one that we didn't know about is Deshaun Bernard. Now, he has come in from Manchester United, again on a free transfer. What are we paying him? Let's have a look at him. I think what we're paying him a week. $2,400 a week as a squad player. A lot of potential there. What I like about him is physically, he's very good, both pace and in the air. He's got some good defensive mental attributes, good determination as well. The defensive attributes are maybe not exactly what we'd like. We've got him there as a right back right now. Yeah, maybe not exactly what we'd like, but there's potential. There's room to grow, though. He's 23, so he may not ever see that potential. But I think, again, as a squad player, if he'd wanted to be a first teamer, I don't think this would have worked out. But if he's coming in as a squad player, that gives us, I think, now 5 good centre-backs. 5? Yeah, because Olafunwa isn't coming back. So, yeah, I think that is, I think that's a good signing. Let me know what you guys think, obviously. But, yeah, we can try and snare up a few free agents now. Alright, just back for a quick update. Still trying to find a left back. We've been beaten to about 3 or 4 different guys, so I'm really hoping we're able to get somebody else. We desperately need it. But we have made a sale. That is Louis B. We've sold him off to Bastia in France. Isn't it, Bastia? The reason I've done that is that he was going to be third choice goalkeeper. He does have potential. But we got a fee of 28 grand for him. But what I've done is I've got a buyback of 100,000. So if he does actually go off and turn into a really good player, we can get him back relatively cheaply if we want him to come back and be our number one. So I think it's almost the best way to do it, because essentially we've sold him, but we get 50% of the next fee if he is good, but we don't want him back. And yeah, we can buy him back for 100 grand as well. So I think this will work out best for everybody. And if he does make a success of himself, then obviously, like I say, we'll get him back in. Alright, so it feels like it's 16th time's a charm, but we have finally got in a left back. We've signed Max Melbourne from Ross County. We played against him this past season, just gone. We signed him did we sign him as a fringe player? What did we sign him as? A squad player. He has the potential to be a good Premiership player, but he's 25. He's more or less going to be at his potential at this point. He's going to be on 4 grand a week. It is a lot more than I would like to have paid him, but ultimately I just wanted to get somebody in, so Hendry wasn't our first choice guy coming into the season. Let's have a look at him. I was looking to sign him when we first got promoted, so this time last year, and he's solid enough. He's not the quickest, but he's not the slowest. He can tackle, he can pass, mark, head, dribble and cross. So he's got all the basics there. He should be a solid left back for us. If we're looking for a little bit of concern, like I say, we played against him in the Premiership last season and he didn't do particularly well, but let's hope that was an aside. We know Ross County, the longer the season went, the more they struggled. So hopefully he was a victim of that. And when he puts on a Queen of the South shirt, he will be nothing short of spectacular. Alright, we have another signing, and I'm really, really excited about this guy. Jacob Davenport, a 25-year-old defensive midfielder. We signed him $275,000. We triggered a release fee at Leyton Orient for this guy. He has signed on $1,500 a week, which is a really good wage as a squad player. I think he might be a little bit more than that for, as you can see, he's an important player who could still improve. Again, 25, how much he's going to improve, I guess is debatable. But let's have a look at him. And mentally, this guy is an absolute monster. He can tackle, pass, mark, and he's a ball-winning midfielder through and, or not, doesn't quite have the tackling maybe, but good determination, good work rate. I think we can stick him in midfield as a box-to-box or a ball winner, and he'll just do his job, won't he? He's a perfectionist as well, which has got to be a good thing. And, you know, down the line, if we strengthen in midfield, you know, he wouldn't make a terrible left back either, would he? With the crossing and dribbling and work rate and all that kind of stuff. So I think we've done really, really well there. He has been playing in, well, he played in the Championship for Blackburn, kind of. Went to League 2 last season, did a decent job for them. And, yeah, 275 grand. I think, as Morty decides to join us again, that is going to be an absolute steal down the line. So it's London buses at left back. One shows up and then another one quickly follows in. Sam McCallum is the new man. We've got him on a free transfer. I had him in on trial to have a quick look, and I think he'll do okay. We're paying him a little bit, $4,400 a week, which isn't ideal. It's a two-year contract. He is 23. There's the rest of his contract there. We've signed him as a squad player. I think he might actually end up being first choice. We can see him here. He's quite good physically. Mentally, he's not too bad, and of course, technically, decent tackle, decent getting forward, and yeah, I think that he will do okay for us. Now, if we look here at what he's been doing previously, last season's in the Championship with Norwich. He's played with Swansea as well. He's played this sort of Championship level okay without being outstanding, so I think he'll do okay, hopefully, and maybe not be outstanding. Alright, so we are at game day of our first Premiership game of the new season. It is Dundee United that we will be facing in that game, so that'll be for next episode. A couple of things to catch you up on in terms of youngsters going out on loan. Jamie Watson has gone off to League 1, I think it is. No, League 2, Albion Rovers, and Joe Hardy is League 1, Cove Rangers. But let's have a look at the squad we have to start this season. And here it is here. Let's have a quick glance. So let me start with strikers. I'm thinking this is maybe the way we'll play. We do have the option to go to wingers if we need to, though. So strikers, we have Lutzi, who is here for a full season, which is very exciting. McGrath can play up here, though we will use him as a number 10 unless, you know, if we've got two up front and playing a 4-4-2, then maybe we'll use him as a deep liar. McAllister can play as a striker, but he's worked better, I think, as a number 10 or on the left side. Shakir Omar, what a player he was last year. Let's hope we get more out of him. Bishop, we did get a bid for Bishop for 90 grand from Motherwell. I decided against selling him because I think he is still probably our third best finisher at the club, so I didn't want to sell him. We've got two youngsters, Mellon, who was out on loan last season at Peterhead, and one of the youngsters that came through our academy, Brian Marshall. He's in the first team squad, so we'll try and get him some mentoring and training and see what becomes of him if we can't get him out on loan. In terms of number 10s, McGrath is the first choice in that position. We also have Bishop, who can play back here as well and do a decent job. McAllister can play back here. We saw that last year and do a decent job. And Ben Summers is another one, a youngster. We're going to try and get him if we get a loan bid from, say, a Championship club. We might accept it, but I want to try and get him some game time to make sure he's developing this season. If we go back a little bit further in midfield, it's difficult to make sure I haven't got anybody doubled up here, but Cameron McPherson may play a little bit more in midfield this season, given the options we have at right back now. Reece Lyon, who we signed in January last year, is obviously a good option. Harry Cochrane, I did toy with the idea of selling him to the point where I've actually upset him, but I'm sure he'll come around. I just feel like there's maybe better players, but he's not on a huge wage, so maybe it was a little bit silly to do that. Morton, of course, on loan from Liverpool, is back for another year. We've got McGrath, who can play back here. The man that I am very excited about in Jacob Davenport, I think he could be sort of like our Scott Brown almost, just that mental beast in midfield. Ben Elliott is a youngster that will try and either get out on loan or get some game time for, because he does have decent potential. We saw Ben Summers already. And then if we go over, we've got Sean Goss, and I think I've got a couple of duplicates there, but that's pretty much all the midfield that we have. If we go back to centre-backs, I'm really happy with our centre-back options. I feel like we're solid without being outstanding. So a Iacovitti, club captain again this year, is obviously in. Joe Lewis is a new signing. Hopefully he's going to have a good year for us. Also, Masonda, who was the signing of the year for last season, maybe a little bit surprising, but he's still around, as is McKenna. And we also, of course, have the new man, Bernard. And I think they're all... None of them, there's no real outstanding centre back there, but I think they're all roughly at a similar level, which is good because we can sort of play whoever we want and we'll be fine. Now, if we go to right back, Connor Bradley, of course, we signed him permanently, so he is a good attacking option there. McPherson, who we've been training in this role, is a good solid option. Mitch Clark, now we signed him and he has since been injured, so he has missed most of pre-season. I think he will be the first choice. Just right back. He can play on the left, of course, as well, but he's going to take a little bit of time to get up to fitness, unfortunately, so that is a bit of a shame. Another of the new boys, Sam McCallum, who just signed. He's left-footed, so he'll predominantly play on the left side, and of course Mitch Clark is right-footed, so he'll predominantly play on the right side. But I think the two of them may well end up being first choice on each side. And I just think, again, just solid options, which is what we need for this season with European football. And Bernard can play over here. Physically he can, maybe not so much technically. Over on the left-hand side, we've just seen Mitch Clark and McCallum, so we don't want to dwell on them for too long. None of the new signings, Max Melbourne. He will probably get the start against Dundee just because McCallum has come in so late. And Hendry actually got an extra year in his contract because we avoided relegation, which I wasn't aware of, and he played 5 games. So we've got him for another year, which is actually perfect because I can sort of let him go now at the end of this year's contract and not have any sort of worries that I didn't have a replacement in. So that is that. Goalkeepers. We've got the two main ones, Jake Eastwood and Doohan, who is a very, very capable backup. We've got a couple of youngsters that are at the club as well if we do need a third choice, but those two should be fine to get us through the year. And so that is the team we have. That is still about a month to go in the transfer window. That is the team that we have. And I don't see any real weaknesses there. Usually I'll do this and I'm like, oh, we're probably a little bit short here. We could do with another player there. If we find a player that improves us, then obviously we'll go and sign them. I don't think, and let me know if you guys think I'm missing something here, I don't think there's any sort of outstanding weakness there, which is excellent. Now, pre-season has gone fairly well. We've beaten Rangers and Celtic, which is excellent. We do have the Europa League playoff upcoming, but that's not yet, obviously. But the good news about being in the Europa League playoff, of course, is that we are going to have, we're going to be unseeded, obviously, for that as well, but we are going to have guaranteed group stage football. We'll parachute down into the Europa Conference League. So worst case scenario, we'll be in the Europa Conference League group stage. So we are going to have a lot of games this season, and it is going to test the squad. But that's it for today. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you think of the window so far. Finance-wise, I've had to take money out of the transfer budget into the wage budget. So we're spending about 54 grand really in wages, and we still have about almost 900 grand to spend as well. So we're in a really, really good spot. And yeah, well, we've still got about a month to go to spend it if we need to. So until next time, guys, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.